Hey everyone, it's Microwave Sam, and in this tutorial, I'll show you how to install Cygwin. This will be a simple tutorial going through the installation download Cygwin. Now Cygwin is a simple program, to be very brief about it, that allows you to use Unix commands on Windows. So it basically makes a terminal very much similar to Linux. Now, first step is to check the system type of your computer. You can do so by going to the File Explorer button, which is the folder, the button with the folder here. And then on Windows 8, you can go to System Properties. And the system type is right over here. I have a 64-bit operating system. And it's always good to check because you don't want to install the wrong setup file for the wrong system type. Now, second step is to go to your browser and go to this website, cygwin.com/install.html. This website has the download files that you'll need for Cygwin, and I'll leave a link in the description. Now, there are two versions of Cygwin, 32-bit or 64-bit. You want to install the one corresponding to your system type, so I'll install and download setup for 64-bit. It's going to be a 760 kilobyte executable file, and after it's downloaded, you can just click and run the setup file. Now the setup file is the same as any other setup file for a program. You just press next after the pop-up. You can choose your download source. I'm going to install it from internet. Then press next. Now you can select your root install directory. The root directory will be where the whole Cygwin environment will be kept, and I just leave it at default and install for all users. Then you can press next. The local package directory will store installation files, and what Cygwin does is it stores the packages that you want to download and then stores it in a local file, local directory and in this case it's normally where you downloaded the initial setup file. So in my case, it'll be in my downloads folder, and I just leave it default and then press next. You can set up your internet connection, choose what type of way you're connecting to the internet, and of course if you're using wireless or wired connection, you use direct connection. Press next. Now there are a bunch of different sites that are considered download sites where you can install Cygwin, and I just use cygwin.mirror.constant.com. You can choose any of these sites, it wouldn't even matter, but I'll just select this one because the name just seems more right to me. And press next. Afterwards, you can select packages to install. Now on this step, just select any package you want to install, but I recommend 3 packages which are useful for building binary files, and these 3 packages are just useful for the Cygwin environment. First one is called GCC-Core. It will be underneath the category Devel. Then you just press the plus, and you'll see GCC-Core is this one, the one that says GCC-Core. To install it, you just click that little circle button with the 2 arrows. When you click it, the skip turns into the number, and the number is the version of the package that you'll install. So it's 4.8.2-3 GCC-Core. You'll now install this package. So the second package that I would recommend to install is the make. Now if you're familiar with Linux, you know what make does. It's a Linux command that's very useful. Make will also be in the Devel category, so just press the plus under to the side of Devel, and then make is right over here. Make, the GNU version of the make utility. Now, same as the first package, you just click the circle and then the number appears, and you will install that package. And then last but not least is OpenSSL. OpenSSL will be underneath the category called net. And you just want to install OpenSSL-devel. And also, you can install OpenSSL. So these two you just want to install, and the library actually too, because the library will be the runtime. You want the runtime and the development. So these two are the main ones, and for good measure, I'll just install this OpenSSL too. So to easily install just all three of these, you can just press the net circle near the net at the side of net, and then it will keep or install all three of these. And you can see the version. I already have it installed, so what it does is it says keep. But for you guys, if you've never installed it before, it'll just have the version number and you'll be installing it. So those are the main three packages, and I always like to install SSH for so that I can SSH into some server. And I already have that installed. You can install OpenSSH in the SSH libraries, which allow you to SSH into a server. And also, I like to have some note editor. The one that I like to use is Vim. And you can also use Emacs, Nano, but Vim I'm more used to. And it's underneath the category called editor. You can just install Vim over here if you would like. And I guess, you know, another one would be SCP or FTP, or I mean FTP, which is underneath net. It's a file transfer type of package. And I think that's all. I think those are main libraries that I normally use. I just need that editor, the three packages for making and building, and SSH. And maybe if you want FTP and SCP. And then if you have a programming language that you like to use, like Python, I like to use Python a lot. If you search for it, it will be underneath its own category, and then you can install it as well. It just has some Python packages. Think of it very much as Cygwin, like Linux. If you've ever used Linux, it provides that necessary, very useful Unix and Linux-esque environment on Windows. So that's always useful. Now after you checked off all the packages that you want to install, you just press next. And for resolving dependencies, depending on what package you use, or I mean you chose, then it will also install the necessary dependencies that those packages require. So you want to make sure that check mark is checked, and then you press next. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to first download all the packages that you selected, and then afterwards it's going to install the packages that you selected. So it's a two-part process. It'll take a while depending on how many packages you chose. But after it's done, you'll have a Cygwin environment on your computer, which is great. So I'll just pause this, skip ahead, and I'll show you the final result. So now that the installation is done, you can just check create icon on desktop, add icon to start menu, and then finish. Now Cygwin is on your computer. So I already had Cygwin installed, but I was just running through how to install. what packages that I like to have, because by default Cygwin just installs the bare minimum. So of course you want to have certain packages depending on what your use. And then finally, we can add it so that you can run it, Cygwin, from the terminal. First of all, you want to go to the bottom left, go to File Explorer, which is 3 folders over here. You want to go to System Properties again. And now over here, you want to go to Advanced System Settings. At Advanced System Settings, you want to go to Environment Variables, and underneath System Variables you want to go to Path. Path should be over here, and you just select Edit, because we're going to add Cygwin's path over here. So basically how this works is there will be a bunch of different values depending on what programs that are connected with the terminal already, and you separate this by typing semicolon, capital C, colon, backslash. Now you want to select the directory that you save Cygwin. Now for my directory, it was called Cygwin64. Now, if you had Cygwin 32-bit, it would be called Cygwin, just Cygwin. But since I installed the 64-bit version, it was called Cygwin64. Then backslash bin. Then close it. Oh, well, you don't have to close it with a semicolon, but you can if you want to. So this is the final result. If you can see, this is what I wrote. I'll leave it in the description too if you can't see properly. And then you press OK. OK. Then press OK. So now, if you open up command prompt and then press LS, now you have like some Linux. You can use Unix commands now, and you can go like, let's say if I want to, I don't know, I'll go to my desktop. Oh, okay, I can ls. So I have basically all the functionality that's, or most of the functionality. I wouldn't say all, but most of the functionality that Linux users have on, you know, a Linux distribution. And now I have it on Windows. So this program, Cygwin, extremely useful. I like the feel of it. It seems that it feels right. It feels right at home, and it doesn't affect anything that I normally do on Windows, but adds the necessary Linux, Unix command features on Windows. So it's a great program. I would definitely recommend it if you really dealt with Linux before and you want something similar on Windows. So it's a great program. Hopefully it works for you, and thanks for watching.